What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hookshot Podcast. My name is Lucas Cohen. I'm here with my friend Rohan Borges. And today, there's no UFC today, which is Saturday. You'll see this video on Sunday. And today, we will be breaking down who will be the UFC champion by the end of 2024 for each division. I'm really looking forward to this. Got some bold takes. Got some takes that you may agree with. Rohan, how you doing?
I'm doing so well, my friend. Obviously, no UFC. That sucks. But we're, keeping the content coming. And I'm so excited to break down these predictions because we got a lot of them. Like he said, some controversial, some not so. So let's see. Let's see it.
Yeah, it should be a good time. I don't see why we don't just get right into it. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to start with Strawweight. And then we're going to go to women's Flyweight. And then we're going to go to men's Flyweight, then women's Bantamweight, men's Bantamweight, and then all the men's divisions. After that, obviously, women's Featherweight. It doesn't seem like they're doing that anymore. No fights scheduled in 2024. Nunes, she let the belt go back in June, I believe it was, at UFC 289. We haven't had maybe we've had like one or two featherweight fights since then. But no, we're not going to talk about that division. Let's get right into it. Women's Strawweight. Let's talk about it. Right now, the current champion is Zhang Weili. And Rohan, I didn't even think about this and I didn't even bring it up to you, but I feel like we should go back and see who we predicted for these divisions. I'm not sure we did women's divisions last year. I think we just did men's divisions. I think I was the only one. Did you do it as well?
I don't know.
I think we both did it.
Okay.
When we get to the men's division, I'll look it over. But women's division, I don't believe we talked about for the end of 2023. I will look into that as you're speaking. But let's start with the women's division. Strawweight, current champ, Zhang Weili. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I think she retains. She has a fight against Yan Xiaonan at UFC 300. There's a clear path to victory for Zhang Weili there, and it's the wrestling. Xiaonan struggled against Carla Esparza badly. I think Zhang Weili beats her at UFC 300, and I think that's the only Strawweight championship fight of 2024. Maybe we would have seen a Tatiana Suarez fight if she didn't get hurt, but now I think we see a super fight between the winner of Shevchenko and Grasso and Zhang Weili at Flyweight. I'm going to say there's only one Strawweight title fight at UFC 300. Zhang Weili wins, and she'll keep that belt heading into 2025. I'm going to say Zhang Weili keeps her belt at Strawweight. What do you think, Rohan?
I have to agree with you, man. I have Zhang Weili as my Strawweight champion at the end of 2024 as well. I think Tatiana Suarez is really her only live competition in that division right now. I think we could even see Zhang Weili move up, which we can get into a little bit later when we go over that division. But I do think that in Strawweight, she is just a class above everybody else. She's proven that time and time again. I think she does beat Yan Xiaonan and retains her belt. So, yeah, I've got Zhang Weili as well.
Yeah, she's looked really good in that fight against Amanda Lemos. She got caught in a deep submission, fought through it, and dominated. Couldn't get the finish, but still, domination from minute 1 to minute 25. Let's talk about the women's flyweight division. As I mentioned, I do think we see a super fight at the end of 2024 between Zhang Weili and the winner of Valentina Shevchenko and why am I blanking? Alexa Grasso, the current champion. But, something that I forgot about is that we have a number one contender fight coming up between Erin Blanchfield and Manon Fiorot. Will their title fight come in 2024? We don't know. It's going to be tough. It's literally up to the UFC. I'm going to predict that no, they get their title shot in 2025. And I'm going to say that Alexa Grasso beats Valentina Shevchenko. Whenever that fight happens, it'll probably take place in May, I'd assume, or May or June. Here's the thing. Valentina Shevchenko is only getting older. Grasso is in her prime. She's only improving. I think it's another very close fight, but I think this time Grasso, in the fans' eyes and the judges' eyes, will barely get it done. I think another Grasso decision will happen. Not another, because it hasn't happened. It was a draw last time, but I do think Grasso will get the nod this time around. No funny 10-8s. I think she wins pretty clearly. And then I think, I don't know who wins the fight between Zhang Weili and Grasso. It's a good fight. If that super fight does happen, I'm going to go with Grasso. I think Grasso does retain that belt against Zhang Weili. Just think she's too big for Zhang Weili, who's 5'3". I think Grasso's too big at flyweight. I'm going to say Alexa Grasso retains her belt heading into 2025. Sorry to be boring, but that's just what I think. Rohan, what do you think?
I actually had Zhang Weili written down, and that's before we even discussed anything. But I think that she will end up getting that super fight just because of how dominant she's been at women's strawweight. There's really not much competition for her in that division at the moment. And the name she's taken out, I think it's time to give her one of these fights. She's been one of the UFC's, longest tenured champions, and I think that she deserves that chance. So I think she will get the Alexa Grasso fight at some point. And man, oh man, I really think she wins that. I do. I've seen her fight live. She's one of my favorite female fighters. And when I saw her fight, who was that? I'm blanking, man. Who did we see her fight against at the Izzy Pereira card?
Zhang Weili.
Yeah.
Izzy Pereira.
We saw her live. Who did she fight?
Did she? Carla Esparza.
Carla Esparza, yes. And she absolutely destroyed her. And I know Carla is not, Alexa Grasso, but man, the way she just ragdolled her in there, it was just so impressive. And I just think she can do that to damn near any woman on the UFC roster. So I think that fight ends up happening as well. I agree with you there. And I think that Zhang Weili gets it done. So I am going to say that Zhang Weili ends up the bantamweight champion at the end of 2024. Or not bantamweight, flyweight. Yes.
So he's going double champ, Zhang Weili. It's a bold prediction.
Yes, I am. I think, bro, there's not many fighters that are that caliber, right? That they can hold two belts at once. Man, she is on that very short list. She is. I really believe that. So, yeah.
Very, very interesting. There are predictions for UFC women's flyweight. I'm going Grasso. He's going Zhang Weili. Now let's move on to the men's flyweight division. As I'm talking right now, I'm looking at our video back from January 19th, 2023. So about, a year and 8 days ago, I predicted that Davison Figueiredo was going to be the flyweight champion by the end of 2023. Obviously, that did not happen.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought Moreno would be the champion. Nope, it's Alexandre Pantoja. I don't believe you gave a prediction. I think it was only me in this video. Gotcha. But here's what I have to say. I think Moreno does do it. I think Brandon Moreno will come back, beat Brandon Royval. I think it'll be a very close fight. Royval, very talented. He showed he can hang in there with the best against Pantoja. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think Moreno gets the nod, probably by decision. Maybe he gets a finish. Not quite sure. This is a rematch. In that first fight, Royval popped his shoulder. It was technically a finish for Moreno, but wasn't really. I do think Moreno takes care of Royval, and I think we see another fight between Moreno and Pantoja. If we look at their last fight, the second or third fight, whatever you want to call it, if you want to count that exhibition from Tough, Moreno did break his hand in round 1. This is back in July 2023. He broke his hand, and he was still competitive through all 5 rounds. I think if we see a healthy Brandon Moreno, he beats Alexandre Pantoja and will be the champion at 125. I'm going to say that Brandon Moreno gets his belt back and will be the champion heading into 2025 at men's flyweight. Rohan, what do you think?
I think this is one of the tougher divisions, but I have to agree with you, man. I actually think that Brandon Moreno does get the belt back, and you laid it out perfectly, man. That the broken hand tells the whole story of that fight with Pantoja. It was so close, but in the later rounds, you could see that Brandon just wasn't being as effective with his striking, and it was because of his hand injury. So I think that really handicapped him in that fight. And if he gets a rematch, which I think he will, because you look at the rest of the division, Albazi, obviously that fight's off, but he's going to beat, you said he has a fight with who again? My bad.
Brandon Royval.
Royval, yeah. Okay, so that's a great fight, actually. Yeah, so Brandon Moreno versus Royval is a great fight. I think he wins that easily. And I really do see him winning the Pantoja rematch. But would that be the fourth time?
That's going to be the 4th fight. Technically, it's the 3rd fight. They had a fight on the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
Pantoja submitted Moreno, I believe, in round 2, right? But technically it's an exhibition, so it doesn't count. But
okay.
Yeah, we got to count that fight. It's 3-0 Pantoja.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that sways the UFC in the direction of not giving him that fight, but I think he's going to earn it, man. He's just so good, and he still won in the rankings. So yeah, I've got Brandon Moreno as well.
Interesting. Now let's talk about UFC women's bantamweight.
We got some news recently.
This is interesting. You know, we had that Kayla Harrison fight announcement at UFC 300 versus Holly Holm. Also, Amanda Nunes might be coming back, which is very, very interesting. Here's the thing. I think Nunes is better than anybody at 135 if she comes back. I think she's better than Harrison. I think she's better than, obviously, Raquel Pennington, better than Juliana Pena, better than Mayra Bueno Silva, better than Holly Holm. It's just, will she get that title fight in 2024 if she comes back? There's a lot of ifs. It's tough. This is literally up to UFC. It's up to Amanda Nunes. It's hard to call. I think we both agree that if Amanda does get that title fight in 2024, she'll be the champion. But again, a lot of logistics have to play out. I'm going to say that she does get that title fight. I think she's levels above everybody else at 135, no matter her age. She's just better. The other fighters are just not that good. UFC Women's Bantamweight is the worst division in the entire UFC. I'm going to predict that Amanda Nunes does get that title fight in 2024. I don't know. She said she's considering coming back. It's probably 50-50. If I had to make, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know?
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about it now because things have to line up well. She has to get that title fight. You know, they will give it to Pena. She was promised a title fight. And then will Harrison get the title fight after that? And then will Nunes even come back? It's hard to call, but here's the thing. I think any of those fights between the active fighters at UFC Bantamweight right now could go either way, which is why I'm not willing to choose one of them. I'm just going to go with the safe yet not safe pick. I'm going to say Amanda Nunes, although this one could really go anyway.
I've got Kayla Harrison, man, and I just don't think she'll get the fight. I think Amanda does come back. We saw that interview she had with Megan Olivi, and Olivi just asked her. She was like, I know you're retired, you're comfortable, but is the door open? And she was like, yeah, because it's in my blood, and she's a fighter at the end of the day. That's all she knows, and so you could definitely see the comeback in 2024. But I just don't know if it'll happen, and I think Kayla Harrison just has no competition in this division if Amanda Nunes is not there. I mean, Raquel Pennington just showed you guys. She just showed the world how trash of a champion she is, and it's crazy that she is a champion. And that's no disrespect. It's just that's the state of that division right now. So I think Kayla Harrison is walking into a division right now that she can absolutely just take over and own and reign over. So if Amanda doesn't come back, which I don't think she will in 2024, I think Kayla Harrison ends the year as champ.
So actually, well, first of all, I have two things to say. One, I don't think she's levels.
Oh, Juliana Pena is the other name I forgot about in that division because I forgot she was gonna fight the winner of this one. So yeah, I guess Juliana Pena will fight Raquel Pennington next, but I don't think Pena can beat Harrison.
Here's the thing. I don't think Harrison. You said she's levels above everybody else. You got to keep in mind, sure, talent-wise, but we've never seen Kayla Harrison fight at 135. She's yet to do
I know.
In her
She's
entire
got to
career.
make that weight.
She may be a different fighter.
That's true.
I do understand what you're saying. Also, I just came across, I did predict UFC women's divisions. I said for Strawweight, Zhang Weili, got that one right.
Yeah.
I said for Flyweight, Valentina Shevchenko, that last fight between Shevchenko and Grasso ended up being a draw. So I was close, but no cigar. And then Bantamweight, I said Amanda Nunes, the title was vacant. So I guess I was wrong. Right and wrong there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Interesting. I'm liking the way you're thinking. Let's move on to UFC men's bantamweight. Again, I was looking at these predictions last year. I said Henry Cejudo, a very close fight with Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
Actually, this year it's really hard to call. I think O'Malley and Chito Vera is a harder fight than people think. I'm going to predict O'Malley. I just think he does enough. I think this fight goes the distance, and I think he wins a 48-47 decision in my eyes. And then who's getting the next shot? It's hard to call. Is it going to be the winner of Cejudo and Merab? Is it going to be Corey Sandhagen? Another division where
Corey.
you gotta,
Yeah, this
it's
division
tough.
is the best division in the UFC, I think.
But here's
Barnard.
what I think. Here's what I think, Rowan. I think a sneaky guy here.
No,
and I don't know if I'm predicting him. I think Umar Nurmagomedov is very, very, very sneaky here. If they give him that Corey Sandhagen fight, and when will it happen? I don't know. Yeah. Here's what I have to say. I think there's going to be a bantamweight title fight in December of 2024. That's how I see it playing out. I think we see 3 bantamweight title fights: one in March, one in July, and one in December. But I just don't know. I don't know if Umar will get a shot. If he does get a shot, I think Umar Nurmagomedov will be the champion before 2024. Similar to my Amanda Nunes prediction, my prediction's based off logistics. I'm going to say he does not get the shot. I'm going to say Merab Dvalishvili is going to be the champion at the end of 2024. This guy's all pressure, all pace. I think he's a nightmare matchup for a lot of fighters at bantamweight. I'm going to say Merab Dvalishvili, it's a tongue twister, that last name is the UFC men's bantamweight champion by the end of 2024. Rohan,
damn.
What do you think, man?
That is a freaking pick right there. I love that pick. And again, that division is just, it's stacked, bro. It is stacked. Because look at these names. I'm forgetting who's in these rankings. And my prediction is going to shock you as well. Because is it
going to shock me?
It's going to shock you, bro. Davison Figueiredo. Davison Figueiredo, bro. He just walked in and destroyed, obliterated Rob Font, who people were just thinking that Rob Font almost beat not Corey Sandhagen got destroyed. But Rob Font was a big name. He walked in there. He was 5th ranked or something like that at the time. Walked in there and destroyed him, bro. Destroyed him. I don't care. I think that look. Bro,
what drugs
hold on.
What drugs are you on?
Hold on.
What drugs
I think O'Malley retains against Cheeto, and I think Davison's gonna get a big name in his next matchup. I just can't see it.
He's got to fight with Cody Garbrandt at UFC 300.
Yeah, but he's gonna destroy him. I'm saying in the matchup after that, because UFC 300 in April, he's gonna destroy Cody Garbrandt. Everybody knows that. That's the biggest mismatch on the card, and that Kayla Harrison's on that card. And then he's gonna get a title fight somewhere down the line in the year. I see it, man.
All right.
And he is
guys,
so good.
This is his
natural weight. This is his natural weight, bro. He's not fighting with people that
in the comment section.
Let
me know what drug Rohan is on right now. What drug? I'd love to know, because listen, there are so many contenders above this guy. You think he's gonna get a title shot in 2024?
He's so good.
You think he's going to get a shot over Sandhagen, over Merab, over Umar?
It all depends on... Look, he's going to obliterate Cody Garbrandt, and after that, he's going to get a big name.
But he's not going to get the shot in 2024. It's not going to happen. There are too many contenders. You're wrong. I could not disagree anymore. This is... Okay, I know we made this Duplessis-Strickland bet.
Bro, you never know. Strickland went from 12 to 10 in like a year. Nobody saw that coming, bro.
I understand. But that was circumstances, man. Crazy circumstances. Here's what I have to say, Rohan. I know we made that bet about Strickland and Duplessis. I'd give you, what, $35 if Duplessis won by decision, and you'd give me $1 if he didn't. Rohan, I will give you $500 if Davison Figueiredo is the champion by the end of 2024 at bantamweight. Bro. And you give me $5.
$5 if he's not yet, bro.
5 and 500 I'll give you.
Okay.
Dude, that's how confident I am.
I'm not. Again, look, bro. Look. He's that good. This is what I'm trying to say, bro.
He's better than Merab.
I think
he's better than Umar.
I don't think he's better than Merab yet, but I think. Well, we've never. I don't know how to compare.
35, 36
No. I don't know how to compare him. I'm saying I don't know how to compare that, but stylistically. But I think he's a far better striker than Merab, for sure. And can he deal with the pressure of him? That's one thing that we just don't know yet. But he's fighting at his natural weight class. This is where he's supposed to be, bro. Before he was fighting at flyweight, and he was fucking them up too. But still, that was not where he was killing himself to make that weight. He's not going to be killing himself anymore. He just absolutely destroyed Rob Font. He destroyed him.
Rob Font's chinny as shit,
I know, but he destroyed him, and he looked so good in that fight. So good. There was nothing Rob Font could do, and he is such a clean boxer. I'm telling you, I think Figueiredo can beat Sandhagen. I think he can beat Jan. I think he can beat Vera. I think he can beat Merab. Shit. I think he can beat Henry's old ass, bro. He can beat anybody in this division, bro. I'm telling you, Aljo's out of the picture now, and Sean is very beatable as well. I really think, look, it all comes down to, does he get the shot? And it's a tough, that's a stretch. Saying that he'll get the shot is a stretch, but I think he's going to make a statement in his next fight, which I forgot about, and you reminded me, at 300. I forgot because it's so ass. He's going to shit on Garbrandt, and he's going to make it, he's going to make the UFC want to have him in there with a big name. I really do. I really see that happening, and I think he can beat anybody. So, yes, that's my pick.
Yeah. Well, you're wrong. Let's move on to the UFC men's featherweight division.
Okay.
This one's interesting. You want to know why?
Why?
I predicted Yair Rodriguez to be the champion at the end of 2023.
He got
not crazy. Yeah. I said he'd destroy Emmett, which he did.
Yeah.
And then I said, Volkanovski's aging. He could get caught. And he did end up getting caught in 2023 just against a guy not at the same caliber as Yair Rodriguez. He got fucking knocked out by Islam Makhachev. Let's talk about 2024. I think there's only going to be 2 fighters fighting for a belt at featherweight in 2024. I think we see 2 fights between Ilia Topuria and Alexander Volkanovski. 2 very close fights. One will probably end and finish. I don't know. These guys are so evenly matched. Volkanovski's so good at point fighting, especially at its height. It's very, very impressive. But again, Topuria is so clean with his boxing. It's a very, very hard fight to call. A lot of people are confident in Topuria. I'm not. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I'm going to have to go with... it's hard to call, man. But I'm gonna go Ilia Topuria. It's another situation where Volkanovski's only getting older. I do think that Topuria will find a way to have that belt heading into 2025. Give me Ilia Topuria to be the featherweight champion at the end of 2024.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I have Ilia Topuria as the featherweight champ as well. I just think that you laid it out. He's only getting older, and I know he lost to the pound-for-pound best fighter in his last matchup. There's no shame in that, losing to Islam. But I just think Ilya, I mean, he is undefeated, and the beating he put on Josh Emmett was just an eye-opener for me because I was not, I guess you could go to that Twitter meme. I was not familiar with that, with his game, bro. That was crazy what he did to Josh Emmett. And I just think that, obviously Volk is going to have a little less to worry about, and it's going to be probably just a boxing match for the most part. But I think he can beat him in a boxing match. He is just such a heavy hitter, and he's got... he's really skilled, man. He's really skilled. So I think he can beat Volk. It's a tough prediction, but I think he's going to beat Volk, and I think he'll hold the belt at the end of the year. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going Ilya Topuria.
Yep.
I'm going Ilya Topuria. I think this guy's just super, super talented, man. Let's move on to the lightweight division. We both predicted Islam Makhachev to be the champion at the end of 2023.
Okay.
And we were right. Let's fucking go. And I think that stays the same. I mean, you look at who he's going to fight. It's going to be Justin Gaethje, and it's probably going to be Charles Oliveira or Arman Tsarukyan. I do think this guy's just better than both those fighters. Keeping this short and sweet, Islam Makhachev will be the lightweight champion heading into 2025. What do you think, Rohan?
Islam Makhachev will be the champion at lightweight at the end of 2024. There's nobody that can beat him in that division, man. It's all about it if he wants to move up and if the UFC eventually gives him, a double champ opportunity. But man, I don't think, things at welterweight are kind of crazy right now too. So I don't know if he's ever going to get that shot. So yeah, at lightweight, he's got it on lock.
I agree. Now let's talk about welterweight. And I'm going back to this video once again. You said Kamaru Usman will be the champion
because I thought he'd beat Leon in the I didn't even have faith in Leon, bro. That's crazy.
No faith. Well, This is after their first fight. So this is before their second fight. Yeah,
I'm a fake fan.
You had no faith.
Crazy.
I'll read you exactly what you said about Kamaru Usman. Hold on, it's loading. Give it 1 second here. You said so here we go. I'm saying welterweight division. I feel like this is the hardest out of all of them. You said, I'm going Kamaru Usman. I know Leon has a skill to beat him again, but I just can't pick against Kamaru because the way he dominated that first matchup just gives you a feeling that he can do it again. So I think Kamaru ends up champion in welterweight. Yeah. Maybe he wins against Edwards and retire. That's definitely a possibility. This is me talking. I didn't give a prediction, apparently. Oh, you were the only one that gave a prediction for this. You said Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, Lord knows where he is weight class-wise now. Obviously had that fight against Hamza Chimaev at middleweight. But, Leon Edwards, the current champion. And, look, I'm going to have a pretty bold take here. There are 3 guys that are going to be fighting for a welterweight belt this year, unless Islam decides to move up. Maybe he does, but let's talk about the current welterweight contenders. You've got Leon, the current champ. You've got Bilal, who's going to get the next title fight. And you have Shavkat Rakhmonov, who will probably get a title shot at the end of the year. I think Bilal could beat Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a close fight. I think Bilal could do it, man. He's really impressed me in his last few fights. And I think Shavkat could do it too. I think Leon Edwards is pretty overrated, and I'll tell you why. He throws a really sloppy right hook when people are coming at him. And I think his defense is a problem. If the fighter pressuring Leon Edwards isn't ducking into that big knee or letting their hands go for like a front kick or a head kick, I think they could have some serious success. I think Colby Covington really showed how much he was aging in that fight. I do think Bilal Muhammad's in his prime. I think he could out-wrestle Edwards and win some striking exchanges and win a decision. And I think Shavkat Rakhmonov has a chance to finish Leon Edwards. But who do I think is going to be the champion at the end of the year? I think it's going to be Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's just too well-rounded, too big, too good. I mean, his striking, not only is his striking next level, but his ground game is as well. He's so clean. I think he pieces Bilal Muhammad up on the feet. Bilal will try to take him down. He just won't be able to. Stylistically, Shavkat Rakhmonov is such a good fight for both Edwards and Bilal. I think Shavkat's going to be the welterweight champion at the end of 2024, and I'm fairly confident in that as well. What do you think?
I agree with you here as well. I have Shavkat Rakhmonov as my welterweight champion at the end of the year for the reasons that you just laid out, bro. He is, 18 fights, 18 finishes, 9 first-round finishes. This dude is a freaking machine. And I think that, like you said, Leon Edwards is very beatable. I don't think Bilal is the guy to beat him. I think we've seen that play out before. Obviously, it didn't last the whole time, but Leon was just picking his ass apart. And I know that, Bilal's kind of entering his prime, but I think he can deal with the wrestling of Bilal and capitalize on that. So I think Shavkat, though, is where it gets really tricky for Leon. I just think you said what I was thinking earlier about Colby Covington not being, he was really, really aging, and obviously the way that fight played out, not many people expected that performance from Colby, and I didn't think we saw the best version of Leon as a result, because Colby wasn't really even bringing him a fight. He was just kind of in there doing whatever. And if you're not gonna pressure Leon, if you're just gonna let him stand there and pick you apart, he'll do that for 25 minutes if he has to, which is what he did. But Shavkat Rakhmonov is not that guy. He is going to be in your face, as he is with everybody, and the arsenal of his is ridiculous, because he's got spinning techniques. He's got it all, standing rear naked chokes. We've seen everything from him, man. And I just think, he has what it takes to beat Leon. So I've got Shavkat as my champ as well.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree on that one, because this guy is just so talented, whether it's on the feet or on the mat.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive fighter. Let's move on to the middleweight division. I was the only one who gave a prediction for this, and I said that Israel Adesanya was going to defeat Alex Pereira, which he did. And then I said he was going to take care of Khamzat Chimaev. That fight never happened. Ended up being Strickland who beat him, and it was Sean Strickland that was the champion at the end of 2023. Obviously, now Dricus du Plessis is the champion. And this is a really hard division to call, because we just don't know which way the UFC is going to go with these matchups. But one thing I do know is that Khamzat Chimaev, it just feels like he's inevitable. This guy is, in my opinion, different. And I know what you're going to say. I know you're going to say Khamzat Chimaev, he's shown that he is beatable, which I can't really fight. But again, you have to realize that he got hurt in that Kamaru Usman fight and still won it. I mean, did he break his hand or something? I think this guy is really just a different breed. And I'll say it again, I really don't have any clear-cut reason. I just think Khamzat Chimaev is inevitable to the UFC middleweight champion at the end of 2024, man. That's my prediction.
I think Khamzat will be a middleweight champion at some point, for sure. And this might be a little bias, I'm going to, admit it, but I've got Israel Adesanya as my middleweight champion at the end of 2024. And listen, I think the Israel versus du Plessis fight is guaranteed. It's going to happen. Whether it happens, it's not going to happen at 300, because now we're getting news that McGregor wants to fight on that card. And if he wants to fight it, it is all his. So Izzy is not going to be on that card. I think Izzy versus du Plessis will be somewhere down the line. And the thing is, I don't think Khamzat gets the shot in 2024. And we saw the way Dricus was talking about him in his post-fight press conference. The media asked him, do you even consider Khamzat an option? Would you entertain that? And he was like, hell no. He hasn't fought anybody at this division. I'm not, I don't think he's done anything to deserve that shot. He basically shut it down. So I think, he doesn't want to fight him for sure. And I think Izzy beats Dricus, and I know Izzy's not going to want to fight Khamzat either. So I think, the UFC will probably have Khamzat fight somebody else at the top of the division. I could see a matchup with, the winner of Robert and Paulo Costa. I think that can happen for sure. I think, Khamzat versus Jared Cannonier is one I'd love to see. I think that would be a great fight. But yeah, I think he's got to fight somebody like that. Then he gets the title shot. I don't think it happens this year. And I think Izzy beats Dricus. So I have Israel Adesanya as my middleweight champ.
Very, very interesting. I'm going to go Khamzat Chimaev. He's going to go Izzy. But again, I think we can agree this is one that is
it's so tough to call, bro.
Very, very tough to call.
Yeah.
Let's go into light heavyweight. I predicted that Jiri Prochazka was going to be the champion heading into 2024. I said that I think he fights once, which he did, and beats whoever's the champion. It ended up being Alex Pereira. I thought that was a very winnable matchup for him if he just fought smart, man. But no, he walked right into that left hook, and Pereira is the current light heavyweight champion. But again, I think Alex Pereira is very, very beatable. I think he's very overrated. You look back at that Jiri fight, and he's just, there's so many holes, man. If you have the right technical boxer to just beat him up on the feet, I think he can win that fight, man. I really do. And I really like Magomed Ankalaev, not just because of the boxing, but he can mix in takedowns as well. I think Magomed Ankalaev is the absolute perfect matchup to win this fight, man. The boxing is so clean. The fight IQ is incredible. He knows when to pick his shots. And, if shit becomes trouble, Alex Pereira, man, he's going to have trouble up against the fence. As long as Ankalaev doesn't lean into that left hook of Alex Pereira, I think Magomed Ankalaev will be the champion heading into 2024. And if they give him like Hill or Prohaska or Rakic, I think Ankalaev edges the mat as well. I think this guy's really good on the feet, on the mat. Give me Magomed Ankalaev to be the UFC light heavyweight champion heading into 2025. Rohan, what do you think?
Gotta agree again, man. I have Magomed Ankalaev as my champion, and you just laid it out, bro. This dude, when I saw him fight Johnny Walker a few weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, man, Johnny Walker in that first round wanted to do all the typical Johnny Walker, antics, do his all his spinning techniques, try to make it a little ugly. But that's the way to fight against Magomed, right? We've seen him get, in danger against guys like Thiago Silva, guys like, that will really make it a war in there with you. But I don't think Alex is that guy, number one. And man, Magomed Ankalaev picked Johnny Walker apart in that second round. The finishing sequence, the knockout was so beautiful. And I really think that, like you just said, Alex Pereira is very, very beatable. I don't think Jamal, maybe Jamal could beat him, but I don't think he would beat Alex. But I think Magomed Ankalaev is going to get that shot this year, and he's going to beat Alex Pereira because there's just too much to worry about with him. He is so good everywhere. You got to worry about the striking. He's very economical. He doesn't waste his movements. But the wrestling is the thing that Alex is going to have a real tough time with, because when he gets you down, there's not much you can do, and he is so versatile on the ground as well. So, yeah, I have Magomed Ankalaev as my champ at the end of 2024 as well.
Yeah, I think we can both agree this guy's just too well-rounded, and can we both agree that Alex Pereira is a little overrated? I mean, I know I know the regular fan wouldn't really agree with this, and I know we may have some Alex Pereira fans hating on us for this opinion, but I really think this guy's overrated. As long as you don't walk into his power, I think Jamal Hill could beat Alex Pereira. Call me crazy. I think he could beat him. I think Magomed Ankalaev could beat him. I even think Alexander Rakic could beat him. And maybe in a rematch, Jerry rights the wrongs. I don't know. He's very sloppy. That would be a tough fight to call. But I'm going to say Magomed Ankalaev is the champion of light heavyweight at the end of 2024. We've reached the final division, and that is heavyweight. And this is one of the easier ones to call for me. I'm going to say Tom Aspinall is the champion at the end of 2024. It's really up to John Jones. I think he beats Stipe Miocic. I think he does retire, and I think Tom Aspinall's promoted to undisputed champion. Is there a chance that John Jones decides to stay and fight Aspinall, and then that title fight's in 2025? There's probably like a 10-20% chance. I think if that fight does happen in 2024, Aspinall beats him. I think he's just too good, too strong. There's a lot of circumstances have to take place for John Jones to keep that belt heading into 2025. I think the safe pick here is Tom Aspinall to be the heavyweight champion at the end of 2024 and heading into 2025. Rohan, final opinion. What do you think?
I got to agree. Once again, Tom Aspinall is my champion in the heavyweight division. I just think, look, John Jones is going to retire after he fights Stipe. I think that is just going to happen. He doesn't want that problem. He doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. And we've seen that from their Twitter interactions, first of all. But Tom Aspinall is just too good. He's too good everywhere. We saw in that Sergey Pavlovich fight, man, he is just a wrecking ball on the feet, and he's got so much power. And the wrestling is there. That's the thing. He can mix it up so well. And yeah, I just don't see much competition in this division for him. I think Cyril Gane is like maybe the one guy at the top of the division that I think has a chance if John is not in the picture. But even John Jones, I think he beats John Jones if that fight happens. So I just think Tom Aspinall is far and away the best heavyweight in the world, and when he gets to prove it, I think he will do so. So yes, Tom Aspinall is also my heavyweight champ.
We're both going Aspinall to be the heavyweight champ heading into 2024. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what other video ideas,
My bad.
ideas you have for us for the new year 2024. And also, what do you agree with? Do you agree with our predictions? Do you disagree? Yeah. Let us know in detail what you think in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed. Rohan, any final words for the people?
Nah, man. I mean, we saw a lot of belts change hands last year. I think it could be a very similar case this year. I'm just so excited to see it all unfold, man. That's all.
Folks, we really hope you enjoyed. It's been Lucas and Rohan. Adios.
Peace.